Have you ever woken up feeling more tired than when you went to sleep? Or had dreams so vivid and intense that they felt real? Maybe you've also felt an inexplicable attraction or an intense desire that seemed to come out of nowhere, right? Well, this could be more than just a human impulse or an intrusive thought. It might be a spiritual influence we can refer to as succubi or incubi, feminine or masculine spiritual beings that seek to drain the life force from their victims. But have you ever wondered why these beings are so interested in our vital energy? Why do they even exist? Who are these beings, really? That's what we're about to tell you by the end of this video, and we'll also explain how to identify and eliminate these spiritual influences from our lives. Brace yourself, because the answer might surprise you. First, it's important to understand that these beings have had many names throughout history. Succubi and Incubi are just a few of them. Each culture and religion may categorize them differently. However, no matter what you call them, what matters is knowing that this spiritual influence truly exists, understanding how and why it affects us, and learning how to combat and eliminate it from our lives. So, watch until the end, as this content could be very useful for your life. But before we dive into who these beings are, you first need to understand how they operate in the spiritual world. To understand this, you need to know that these beings act directly on our vibrational frequency. They connect with our deepest desires, especially those related to sensuality, sexuality, and momentary pleasure. When we're in a fragile or unbalanced emotional state, our energy becomes more vulnerable, and that's when they strike. The worst part? Often, we don't even realize we're being influenced. If you're someone who frequently gives in to sexual desires multiple times a day, this influence, which didn't exist before, can start to take hold. On the other hand, if you're spiritually well and taking care of your spiritual side, it becomes harder for these beings to connect with you. When we constantly give in to sexual impulses, we create an energetic bond with them, like an invisible rope that ties us down. And the worst part? The more we feed these desires, the stronger this bond becomes, and in extreme cases, it can lead to spiritual possession. To prevent this from happening, we need to identify certain signs. If you've repeatedly engaged in behavior you knew wasn't healthy but couldn't stop, this could be a sign that something beyond your will is at play. Have you ever felt an uncontrollable urge to do something you knew, deep down, you shouldn't? A desire to do something you've never been interested in or attracted to before? Well, it might not just be you. Are you in a moment of loneliness or sadness and suddenly feel an overwhelming attraction to someone or something? Yes, it might not just be you. This isn't just a coincidence. By asking yourself these questions, you can identify this spiritual influence. But since you may have never questioned this before, it's possible you've already been a victim of these beings without even realizing it. Think about what I'm going to ask you now. And if you're enjoying this video so far, please give it a like, subscribe to our channel, and turn on notifications, as we'll delve deeper into this topic in the future. Deal? Back to the topic. You know those days when you wake up feeling more tired than when you went to sleep? Or had dreams so vivid and intense that they felt real? During sleep, our soul can be more vulnerable to the influence of these beings. What happens while we sleep can be more terrifying than you imagine. The reason? It's because during sleep, our soul detaches from the physical body, entering a state known as astral projection, out-of-body experiences, or even, in a way, a spiritual rapture. Regardless of the name, it's a fact that this is when we're most exposed to external influences, including the actions of succubi. They can approach and create illusory scenarios, such as erotic dreams or seductive situations, to drain our vital energy. But the question is, why are these beings so interested in our vital energy? What do they gain from it, after all? And more importantly, how is this energy used in the spiritual world? Brace yourself, because the answer might surprise you and reveal a dark side that few know about. In the spiritual world, vital energy is like a currency. For succubi, who are still trapped in carnal desires and addictions, this energy is a valuable resource. They use it to maintain an illusion of pleasure and satisfaction, materialize objects and resources in the spiritual world, and so on. However, this energy isn't infinite, and they constantly need to seek new sources, which keeps them in an eternal cycle of dependency and suffering. But the big question is, how can we break this connection? The first step to freeing yourself is to strengthen your willpower and elevate your energetic vibration. This can be done through sincere prayer, reading the gospel at home, practicing inner reform, and so on. Do anything that elevates your energy, regardless of your religion, because when you work to improve your thoughts and actions, you create a natural barrier against negative influences. Additionally, seeking help can be crucial. It doesn't matter if it's at a church, a spiritist center, or any other place. Seek assistance. As I mentioned earlier, each culture, philosophy, or religion may give a different name and understanding to these beings and the same phenomenon. However, on this channel, we have a different perspective on who these beings are, and we want to make that clear to you. For us, these spirits aren't demonic creatures, but rather disembodied souls that, for some reason, are still trapped in desires and addictions. And more, they may be under the command of more powerful and darker spiritual entities, though all of them were once alive at some point. They are in fact souls that once lived on Earth, and because of their addictions and imbalances, couldn't elevate themselves after death. They remain trapped in carnal desires, such as lust and seduction, and seek to satisfy these needs through the living. We ourselves, after death, could become these types of spirits, seeking carnal pleasures in the spiritual world. These beings are ordinary people like you, the difference being that they're stuck in a cycle of pain and dependency in the spiritual world and may be used by dark entities to target the living. Just as there are gangs and mafias in the physical world, the same exists in the spiritual world. And that's why sometimes it's not just a single being that may be spiritually influencing you. The truth is that the spiritual world is closer to us than we imagine, and understanding how it works is the first step to protecting ourselves. Remember, the vital energy we carry is a treasure, and it's up to us to decide how to use it. If this content resonated with you, share this video with someone who needs to know this. And don't forget to subscribe to the channel and hit the notification bell so you don't miss the next videos. Until next time, peace profound.